in my Lego kingdom. King Cuthbert's friend, King Equine, has arranged for Cuthbert to hide at the Knife and Fork Inn, under the watchful eye of Mistress Kent, while Cuthbert waits for an opportune moment to lead his remaining loyal troops in a siege of his castle, in an effort to displace the Old One and reclaim his kingdom. Now, King Equine sends one of the Wolfpack Rangers to the inn to escort King Cuthbert to a top-secret meeting in the woods with an unlikely ally, King Arachneon III, the Spinner, ruler of a race of mysterious people known as the Urani, but commonly known to all whom have heard of their legend as the Spider Mountain Folk. The Urani are not only able to control spiders, but also, if necessary, shapeshift into spider form themselves. At their secret meeting, King Arachneon offers the services of his army, and because of their ability to shapeshift into spiders, tells Cuthbert his plan to send troops in the form of those eight-legged creatures into Cuthbert's old castle, now occupied by the Old One, his evil legions, and Cuthbert's troops that remain under the Old One's spell. Once inside the castle, with their venom sacs filled with the potion created by the elven magician, they will bite the troops that are under the spell of the Old One, breaking that spell and once again turning them into Cuthbert's loyal soldiers. Will the plan of the Urani be successful? Will they manage to break the spell of the Old One, thereby creating a loyal force of Cuthbert's troops within the castle walls? Tune in again and see for yourself. Hi, I'm Tom Bray since 1954, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're anything like me and you love Castle, then you're really grateful when LEGO puts out anything that is Castle-related. This year we've gotten a lot. We've gotten that Horse Knight set. We even got a unicorn set and with a castle, and what's not to like about that? But in between those offerings, we kind of have to make do with what we can create ourselves. And I'm not much of a building builder as far as mocks go. Even modifications are difficult for me. I haven't been building Lego since I was a kid, so the building methods are still kind of new to me. But what I can do, and what I have done, is look at the minifigures. And there are lots of minifigures out there, especially from Ninjago sets, but also from the collectible minifigure series that can be adapted to be factions, new factions for my fantasy castle world. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I personally, just as a personal preference, like to take something as close to out of the box as I can and basically write a new lore for it. For example, the Cupid figure that was in a collectible minifigures series, I think a few series back, I managed to turn that into the Praetorian Guard for King Cuthbert by just changing out the legs to the taller legs. So with this latest minifigure collectible series, which is the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and that's series number 71050. That's the ID number that LEGO gives it. They come in a little box, of course, and there's 12 figures. And I wondered, as I looked at that series, whether or not there was something out of that I could use to create some lore around and make a new faction. So I looked through all 12 of them, and I looked hard and thought, what could I use almost out of the box that would be something that would kind of fit in a fantasy castle world, that wouldn't look too odd, and that I could create some lore around? And the answer was the very first figure, which is simply known as Spider-Man on the brochure. I thought that this was the perfect figure. It has a very cool crest on the front of a spider and on the back. It's black mostly. It has these cool blue gloves. The character comes with a spider face. It also comes with a normal head and a wig. And I thought, this is something that I could really turn into a separate race of creature. And it occurred to me that it might be really cool for the purposes of my lore if these were shapeshifters, if this was a race of creatures that could change into spiders when necessary, but also could control spiders and weaponize them and use them as weapons if they needed to. They could fight with conventional weapons like swords and bows, but they could also summon spiders and have them do their bidding while shapeshifting themselves and going right along with the spiders that they'll command as their fellow troops, which is a really interesting idea. So what I did was I swapped out the heads, and I used some heads from a Monkey Kid set. And I think I bought them on Pick-a-Brick, these heads. They just looked cool to me. And they were available. So when I put in a Pick-a-Brick order, I grabbed a couple of those. I like the blue kind of tint of the skin. The set comes with a spider within it, which is cool as it is. And what I did was I decided, well, maybe that spider sits on top of the head of the troops and is there to be weaponized whenever the troop wants to use its powers to send it into battle. And it also kind of formed this kind of cool headdress, which I thought was really neat. And then for the king, I just used the hairpiece from the Vlad character from Dungeons and Dragons and put some red epaulets on him to make him look a little bit more regal. Now, I could use it with the normal face that's included in the set, and if I wanted to in my lore, if I wanted to have an in-between stopping off point between humanoid and spider, I could use the actual spider face from the Spider-Man. So there's lots of options there. And what really excited me about this was that it was basically turnkey out of the box. That I could basically take this character, just write some lore for it, do my storytelling, which is really, really fun for me. And here I have a new faction. Now, whether or not I'll deeply army build with this, I'm not sure yet. But I bought three of them, at about $5 a box. They weren't hard to find. And I just thought it was a cool way for $15. I kind of had a small squad of these that I could use this week in my lore. So that's it. I'm wondering what you've done. Have you taken any of these characters from this Spider-Man collectible minifigures series that's currently out, and have you tried to turn them into a faction? Is there something I'm missing? Is there another figure that might make a really cool castle faction, whether it's fantasy or not? Because in actuality, you could use these crests as just, if you got a snake faction, you can have a spider faction. So you can certainly use the torsos to just build a conventional army without any fantasy element to it. I just like the fantasy element because that fits in with my kind of castle kingdom. If you come up with something, please let me know in the comments. I always love hearing from you, and I love reading your ideas. Until next time, happy building.